Hello and welcome to ET Now. You're watching this very special series, Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. I'm Pooja Jain, and we're putting the spotlight on two super achievers tonight. First up, Astral, one of India's leading building material manufacturers, followed by Sourcewiz, a startup SaaS platform designed specifically for the export community. Have a look.
Astral Limited is one of India's leading building materials companies. Astral started its journey with the manufacturing of polymer pipes and went on to diversify into other building material categories like adhesives, water tanks, sanitary ware, faucets and paints. Quality and innovation in B2B categories have been core competencies of Astral, backed with a reliable and trusted brand name that covers the needs of millions of households across the country and overseas.
So help me better understand how innovation has become such a central component of Astral's DNA, and what are perhaps some future planned innovations in the pipeline that you can tell me more about?
See, we started off Astral with innovation. We were the first one to bring CPVC to this part of the globe. Right. And at that time, nobody knew the polymer. The polymer was something used in the developed countries, had a lot of attributes. So Astral basically started with innovation, and then we were the first one to ever bring a lead-free PVC. The people were surprised that how this product would work, and today the whole country, even the government has banned use of lead in the plastics. Similarly, we were the innovators for CPVC, aluminum CPVC pipe, and we were the first one globally to have commercial manufacture done in India. Absolutely. We also brought in recently a silent pipe from technology from Germany. Except a few companies, we are the first one to make this product on this side of the globe. We have recently worked and developed a PP multi-layer pipe, which is also a very innovative product, and globally it has come for the first time. So Astral has always been innovating products, whether it is the pipes and now in the adhesives. We are the first one to bring Bondtite Pro. Globally, it's a very innovative product. And with this, our DNA or our journey is always on innovation. Right. With innovation, we look at the affordability of the Indian customer. We bring products, we check with people that it is affordable, it replaces something which has been conventional, and these products make the infrastructure of India way ahead and in competition with the global developed countries.
Well, let me build on that with a follow-up question, because I'd really love your take on the implementation of Bureau India standard norms within the PVC space, and how do you believe that as a result the industry stands to benefit at large?
I can say the industry will benefit, but the customers will benefit. The main help of these standards is for the customers. Because a lot of things happen around the polymer today without the ISI mark, which is not there in many of the products. If it is compulsory, the customer will benefit a lot. So making standards throughout all the systems used in either plumbing or agriculture side in piping or the distribution of water for our project of Jal Se Nal, right. Everything will help to give the right product and right system and deliver a good product to the consumer.
Of course.
The low-level consumer needs these things.
Well, sir, Astral is really enjoying a phenomenal compounded annual growth rate of, I think, in the order of 20%. I'd love to understand your approach to attaining and retaining top talent in this market.
See, top talent to retain is the toughest thing for any enterprise, and manpower is the key after certain level of growth. Brand is there, branding is done, you have network, but your manpower is the core of human capital. So we are investing on them. We have a ESOP program also in place. We are extending that ESOP program. That's one of the key programs which we run, and this year we have decided to extend the program to all the key people. And at the same time, we remain directly in touch with all the top manpower, keep one-to-one relationship, and discuss with them their issues and at all level. And I am approachable. We are approachable by anyone if he has
open
a
door
problem.
policy.
Yeah, open door policy. But I think the biggest challenge we are discussing only yesterday is human now. You want to grow so much, but you need talent to grow.
Absolutely. And so now, by way of closing comments, a question on many people's minds. When can we expect Astral to become a 10,000 crore top-line company?
See, we have been growing at a good pace in these last 2 years in the COVID era. We were concerned about the growth, but we have overgrown in COVID era. So we at least focus to grow around 15 to 20%. And the new businesses like the paints which we have entered, we still need to bring it pan-India base, so would give us higher growth. Faucets and ceramic ware, once they start rolling out in the market, we have just started selling them a few weeks back from the state of Gujarat. Once they are at pan-India level in next fiscal will give us a good number. Adhesive is actually growing at a fast pace, especially the construction chemicals we are focused to make it grow, and obviously the pipe business is growing. So I would feel that we should be 10,000 plus in next 4 to 5 years. That's my focus.
Well, sir, we certainly look forward to that, and we look forward to next steps that lie ahead with this company as it ushers in a new era of growth.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Sir, so Astral has always been admired as a company that exercises strong financial discipline, and that reflects in its working capital, that reflects in its return on capital ratios. How challenging is it to maintain that standard in the current environment?
Yeah, you rightly said, particularly in the piping industry, to maintain these kind of discipline is always tough. But in our organization, we have educated every our senior that with the growth, these disciplines are equally important. If you are growing fast and if you are not maintaining the discipline, you are going to fall. And there are so many examples available in India. So many companies were growing fast and they sharply collapse also. So we don't want that to happen. That's why we always say that grow little less.
Sure.
But at least you should have a discipline. So that's why we always do our 100% business through a distribution network. And that's why we are able to maintain that discipline.
Well, sir, speaking of growth, right, I think that Astral has enjoyed tremendous growth from an industry expansion perspective, right? What was once a piping company is now, a building materials company. So how bullish are you on both the company's prospects and the sector's prospects in the next 3 to 5 year time horizon?
So I think building material is always the evergreen sector. If you see the last 20 years of India journey, the building industry has always delivered the growth. Any industry or you can say the country want to grow at a 6-7% GDP growth without the support of construction industry or a building material, it is not possible. Because building material consists of close to about 225 different products. So if this is not going to grow, I don't think India will grow. So we are very clear that this industry has a still potential to grow another 20 years. Because India needs millions of houses. Today, the way you see the culture is getting changed. Earlier, we were staying with our grandparents, father, mother. Now, completely a nuclear concept is coming. So, with this, you need more and more houses. So, building material industry has to perform. And secondly, our economy is also performing. So, aspiration level is going high. When I was young, we were not even dreaming for the home. But now the kids are getting educated and they are doing the first job itself. In 1 or 2 year or 3 year, they are starting the planning of the house. So that is the difference. So because of that, I think this industry has to grow, and without that, India can't grow.
Well, sir, by way of closing comments, if we take a look at the very healthy balance sheet of Astral and the amount of cash reserves, I have to ask, what is the acquisition strategy of the company, and are there any promising acquisitions in the pipeline that you can tell us more about?
So I think Astral is known for the acquisition. So in my journey with this group, we have done 5-6 acquisitions. So we are always open-minded for the acquisition. Any product or any company which is fitted to this principle which I explained you, ROC and synergy with the brand and all these things, we are always open to do the acquisition. But I think now recently we have done a little higher than what we were originally planning. So we enter into sanitary ware, faucet, paint, tank, everything has come together. Right. So I think next 3 years, at least we are not looking for the new acquisition, but we will try to consolidate what we are having. You know, today we are having the opportunity of 1,50,000 crore market opportunity in the segment in which we have entered. Right. Again, that our company has delivered only 4,400. So practically you can say we are a 3% of the opportunity in India. So enough room is available for us for the next 5-year growth. So we will keep a stop right now for the acquisition for next 3 years. And then we will see that whatever is suitable to the organization, whatever the board take a decision, we will follow that and we'll do more acquisition.
Well, sir, we congratulate you and the larger team on all your success, and we look forward to continuing to track the company's journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's time for a short break, but stay tuned for our second super achiever on the other side. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. We're in conversation with another super achiever, a startup that is making importing from India seamless, Sourcewiz. And here's how.
COVID-19 has shifted the entire sales process for manufacturing online. Source Wiz is a SaaS platform built for manufacturers to grow their business with the mission of digitizing the manufacturing industry, empowering manufacturers to grow and simplify their operations. By automating processes such as product management, costing, cataloging, making quotes, invoicing and trade show management, Source Wiz is helping manufacturers digitize their sales and marketing operations.
Divyaanshu, thank you so much for joining us on The Leaders of Tomorrow. It's our 10th season on air. And across these 10 seasons, we've been closely monitoring the SaaS space, of course. How is Sourcewiz envisioning how this space will evolve, and how are you trying to disrupt this space in particular?
Sure. Thanks for having me, first of all. In terms of the SaaS space, I feel like vertical SaaS is the way to go. If you look at how the industry is spanning across, the first phase of the companies was a lot of horizontal solutions, so sales, marketing, stacks that can be used pretty much by everyone. Sure. But I think the future of SaaS is vertical SaaS, and that's where we are playing. So we have a SaaS solution specifically for manufacturers, and it streamlines end-to-end workflows. And I can talk a little bit about why I think vertical SaaS is the way to go.
Well, absolutely. And when you look at domestic manufacturers, right, I think Sourcewiz's vision is essentially to make importing from India seamless.
Yeah.
It's all easier said than done. So what are some of the leading challenges within this vertical that you've encountered along the way?
I think broadly, if you look at the space, there are 3 broad challenges that make importing from India very, very difficult. Like capital is definitely one of the things. Second is India is known, for the longest time, importing from India has not been a very seamless experience in the sense that, there are delays. A lot of those delays are because it's a lot of handcrafted products are made here. So you don't have the kind of reliability you would have in China where everything is bulk produced. But also because these are SMEs, largely it's not very organized how they work. Every factory makes hundreds of different products, and they don't have a very clear way of managing those different SKUs. If you go to a factory owner and ask them, where is this order at, they have no idea. So they have to actually call 10 people to get that status. So it's very unorganized how the factories are run. So that's the second challenge of it. And I think the last bit of it is just that, it's an emerging sort of ecosystem, right? Like if you go and ask any, new importer or anyone who's selling e-commerce in the US where they import from, China is the first place they think about.
And that's mind.
Yeah, so we've not really branded ourselves really that well. Like we're not very well known, and you'll be surprised. Like even when I travel to UAE, which is it's almost like a domestic flight, and most of the people there are Indians who are sitting in those companies. Even they don't know what all India is about. So there's a massive knowledge gap in terms of what India can do, what it can produce, what kind of product it has expertise in. So I think those are the three broad challenges where we are trying to sort of play.
Well, the most stark contrast between China's landscape and India's domestic exporting landscape seems to be around sort of the automation and the digitization of factory workflows. And that seems to be where Sourcewiz has seriously built some credibility and a leg up over competitors in this space.
Yeah.
What are the type of workflows that you are looking to digitize and automate?
So I think pretty much we're trying to automate everything right from start of a conversation with a buyer to actually, execution of that order within the factory. So the current stack that we already have automates once you get a lead from a buyer, right? Everything from there on, being able to share your product seamlessly, being able to showcase those products in a much better way than before. Previously, these guys would just share JPEGs on WhatsApp or just, like emails, right? So that's not the best way to sort of pitch a product. So we let them create customized storefronts for different buyers so that you're only showing what the buyer is interested in rather than, showing everything that you have. Right. From there on, the process of costing, costing keeps varying in this industry, right? Because as you can see, cotton prices are like, they change every few weeks now.
Right. So then, Divyaanshu, if I'm understanding you correctly, via the Sourcewiz platform, right, an exporter can essentially do everything from cataloging, product design, the creation of quotes, invoice management, trade show management. So there's a lot on offer. So I'm curious to understand what sort of revenue uptake, by way of percentage, your customers typically experience after onboarding onto the Sourcewiz platform.
So out of all the case studies that we've done with our customers, 20 to 30% uptick is very common in the first 3-4 months.
Phenomenal.
And this happens because of two things. One is that just the number of inquiries they're able to respond to, right? So when we started, some of the things that people told us is like, I met 100 buyers last month, I've never even reached out to them. Right. Because the workflows are so complex, like literally we used to sit with factory owners and see like, them constantly being on calls. It's like a person with ADHD, right? Like constantly somebody's calling you for raw material, somebody's calling you for production. So now that, you have all of these tools, right? You're actually able to cater to all the buyer inquiries that you get. So that's one. Second is actually being able to get the repository of all your products in one place. If it's too disintegrated, you're constantly not able to sort of share the widest range that you can. So instead of now sharing 40 products, people are able to share 500, 400. So that also helps them sort of, get more revenue out of the products they share.
So it's sort of ease of transaction, speed of transaction, and scale.
Yeah.
All in one.
All in one.
When we take a look at the SaaS market, I believe it's positioned to touch over $30 billion by the year 2025. And the growth is therefore rampant. And your product offerings have also evolved along the way over the course of your journey. Yeah. Tell us more about Wiz Market and what it's designed to achieve.
So I think number one in India, the way I see, or just overall the SMB SaaS space, right? Like either you can be selling SaaS to large enterprises, in which case, you can have a fixed SaaS subscription fee and stuff like that. But when you're working with SMBs, I think the models which will scale and which will work best are SaaS plus transactions. So yes, you are providing them a bunch of tools to streamline their processes, help them do better with their existing sort of buyers. But at the same time, you need to help them grow because most of these factories do not work on 100% capacity utilization, right? They're probably at 30, 40, 50%, and it varies heavily year on year. Like 1 year, they just have like too many orders, suddenly they have nothing, right? So Wiz Market basically is touching upon the third problem that I mentioned, that India is just not a very well-known sourcing ecosystem, right? So what we are doing is we're taking all of these exporters that we've gotten on one platform and building a marketplace where we're giving end-to-end service to buyers to procure products from our factory network.
Right.
And we've already opened this marketplace in GCC, so mostly targeting UAE and Saudi. And we plan to enter the US market by Jan next year. So we'll take all of these curations products to a wider network of buyers and help our exporters also sort of further enhance their revenue.
Tell me and walk me through how you're thinking about expansion strategically, because I think a byproduct of the Make in India movement has been sort of make in India but make for the world. Right?
Exactly.
And I imagine players like yourself will have a critical role to play in making that vision a reality. So how do you shoulder that responsibility here at the company?
That's a very hard question, but I think the way we see it is, I think on one side we think that, the largest network of digitized factories is what we want to build on the supply side, right? Like, and the other side, we want to get as many buyers as possible to come onto our network. So on the supply side though, like, you have to evolve into a more consistent supply chain. As a sort of running this company, my goal is to sort of enter all of these three verticals, and I think we did well on the first front, which is digitization of factories, and now once we start getting demand, I think by mid next year we should start getting into the other two aspects.
Phenomenal. And Divyaanshu, by way of closing comments, what words of advice might you have for young, aspiring entrepreneurs who are considering taking so-called traditional industry and disrupting it with a technology-led approach?
I think one of the things I will say is that when we were starting out, for example, very, very few people believed that we can monetize SaaS. Like, everybody told me you have to give it for free, nobody will use it, nobody will pay for it. But that turned out wrong, right? So, and what gave us conviction on the fact that we can actually sell SaaS, and not just sell, like we're currently selling it at a 3x price point that we even pitched in our first seed round, right? Is just stay close to the customer, right? And a lot of these customers are changing, new generation is coming in, so people want better tools, right? So
they do.
I think my only advice is that, instead of just pick up a space and just be very close to your customer. And I think it's the most often given advice, but that is what has worked for me when I was starting out.
Keep your head down, tunnel vision, and see it through to the end.
I mean, we started without knowing what we want to build, but we were just very close to our customer. Like, we spent 4 months of customer discovery, 5 months actually, where we were literally in factories. We were shadowing owners of the factories. We were walking around factory floors, like, would actually like interning with some factories, and people were happy. They're like some people from IIT wanted to shadow us, like, why not, right? So do that, and that will give you the insight on what will work and what will not work more than anything else out there.
I think what's really worked is you've honed in on what the market's actual needs are versus creating a solution that perhaps is perfect on paper and not so much when it comes to proof of market.
Absolutely.
So we congratulate you on all your success and we wish you all the best as far as the future.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
That brings this episode of Super Achievers Making New India powered by VoiceWhat to a close. We trust you found the insights shared of value. Thanks for tuning in.